Now, not everything on this graphic is perfect. We still have Dante Moore in for Oregon there just because it's not been, Dante Moore has not technically announced that he is going to the NFL. However, that is most likely what's going to happen. So I would think that Oregon is probably going to get somebody out of transfer portal. We'll see. Maybe it's Sam Levitt. Maybe it's not. He is from Oregon, so that could impact things. And then Washington, even though they haven't lost Damon Williams yet, I guess I would still say it's pretty likely that Damon Williams is probably not going to play at Washington next year. So we'll see with that. But Beau Pribula was on a visit today to Washington. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But let's talk about these other guys. First, here, Zach, we have Anthony Colandrea going to Nebraska. Nebraska obviously loses out on Kenny Minchey. He flips his, commitment, whatever you want to call it, to Kentucky. Kentucky essentially wrote him a blank check, and he did whatever he wanted to do there. And then now Nebraska is going after, well, not going after, they have gotten a
Wait a minute. Are
commitment.
they going to pay Minchie with bourbon? Like, what are
Maybe.
we like?
Moonshine. Moonshine, Zach.
What money does Kentucky have?
Yeah, moonshine money. That's what they're getting it from.
Yee. Okay.
But Calandria is now there at Nebraska. You and I kind of were not super in favor of the Minchie addition, and I think some Nebraska fans were with us on that. Other Nebraska fans really liked it. I actually like Calandria to Nebraska better than Minchie to Nebraska. Am I crazy, Zach?
No, I think, like, for one, Calandry started. Like, he has games under his belt, and he had a
Two
pretty good
different
year.
schools he started.
Yeah, he has 3 years of starting experience, and he has played very well. He's elevated the teams that he's been on. So, yeah, like, I don't know how much of an upgrade it is, but at least Nebraska got a guy who has played, has experience. And what have we seen? We've been saying it for the past several years or several weeks now. Experience, and particularly good experience, tends to translate better than guys who have rode the bench at high level programs. So that's not a sweeping statement. We don't want to make broad brushstrokes, but generally it has been players at group of 6 schools who have played well have done better at better opportunities than guys who have rode the bench at bigger schools that have gotten no opportunities.
Yeah, Calandria has improved every single year that he's been in college football. And obviously this year he was in the G6. He went from Virginia to the G6. But, I think UNLV may have had some better talent around him than Virginia had in years past. I'm not saying this year. Obviously, Virginia was a better team this year. But him going from nearly 2,000 yards his first year, 2,100 yards the second year, and then this next year, this third year, this year, he had nearly 3,500 yards, 23 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions, and he rushed for 650 yards on the ground. I think this is a great fit with Dana Holgorsen. We can say that maybe Minchie has some more upside, maybe he has some more potential, but the way I look at it, Nebraska needs to bring somebody in who's ready to win now, who has the experience to come in and play now. And Minchie, yes, he does have a lot of upside, like I said, but overall, I think Calandria has the experience, and he might be a little bit more turnover prone. We'll see, but at the same time, Minchie would be a first-year starter, so there's no guarantee that he wouldn't be turnover prone either.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The next one, Zach, and we mentioned him a little bit, is Aidan Chiles to Northwestern. Chip Kelly there at Northwestern now. Very interesting move to see Aidan Chiles go from Michigan State to Northwestern. Obviously, things did not end well there, but Aidan Chiles this last year, he only passed for 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So he did do a good job of getting the interceptions down, but he did not have nearly as much passing production as people would want. Had a little bit of injury stuff going on, also got benched at the end of the year, so that kind of impacts the production there. But what are your feelings on the addition of Aidan Chiles to Northwestern to go along with Chip Kelly?
This is the only Big Ten destination that makes sense for Aidan Chiles. And people, I think JR Jr., he was maybe giving me a little nudge. I said MAC level QB. He has not been a good quarterback. Now, some of that's been a supporting cast, but mechanically he has not been good. He has been incredibly inconsistent, but the tools are there. And now you have him under Chip Kelly, who is a very good coordinator, is very good working with mobile quarterbacks. And honestly, it's a low risk, high reward situation, right? Because what do we say? Like Northwestern, the general trend is they do well one year, they don't do well the next. And so nobody is going to have high expectations for him or Northwestern next year. What if he goes in and blows completely ascends a year from now? And I think that is possible. So I just like that he's in a position where there's not a ton of pressure on him, but he's got a really good coordinator that will utilize him well, and he can really learn. So I think it's a really good fit for him.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think if Aidan Chiles wants to get to the NFL someday, he had to go for kind of a high risk type of situation here. I don't think he would have got to the NFL going to a G6 job or anything like that. And for him to go with, an outstanding offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly, I know things didn't work out for him in the NFL, but in college he's been fantastic. And for them to go with Chip Kelly there, this is really probably Aidan Chiles' best shot to make the NFL. Will he get drafted? Probably not, but we'll see. He might get drafted. And even if he doesn't get drafted, he could make it onto a team and, be a good practice squad member or, sit second or third in the quarterback room there as well. And I do think that Northwestern is probably one of the best ways to get him there with that, with Chip Kelly and the way he might be able to utilize him with his athleticism and, kind of go back to the Oregon days a little bit and see what maybe not as much up tempo, but, definitely utilizing the running quarterback and that kind of stuff.
Yep, for sure.
So, all right. And the last new addition, we'll obviously talk about Oregon when we get everything squared away with them. So I say the last one for today. But Damon Williams moving on from Washington. Zach, you tell me, even if Washington is able to win the lawsuit here with Damon Williams, I don't see Damon Williams playing a snap of football for Washington next season, nor do I think any Washington fans would really want to see him play a snap of football for them.
The only way they would want to is if Damon Williams says, "Hey, I was wrong. I really do want to come back, and it's not just because of the contract." But he would have a lot of winning, like he'd have to win a lot of the fans back. However, I would want to sit down with Damon Williams as a mentor to ask the question, why on earth would you go play for Lane Kiffin? Like, seriously, why would you do that? He has proven time and time again that he does not care about his players. Why? I don't understand it. The way he left Ole Miss, I'm like, what? Now, as I say that, you could say the same thing about Jedd Fisch leaving Arizona, but I don't understand why he's leaving Washington. Like, can you explain this to me, JR?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. The only kind of conspiracy theory I have, which I know that's why everybody comes to the Big Ten Huddle for, is for JR's conspiracy theories.
Oh
So we
dear.
need like a segment here, JR's conspiracy theory of the pod. But my only conspiracy theory for it here is like, I mean, obviously, what probably happened is he probably got the glitz and glamour of Lane Kiffin and got him talked up. Maybe he got offered a whole bunch of other money. The only other thing I could think of is like he has the same agent as Jedd Fisch, so is Jedd Fisch going somewhere in the NFL to be an offensive coordinator or something like that for somebody? And he sees the writing on the wall, and maybe we just don't see it yet. And he says, "Well, I don't want to be here at Washington and not know who my next head coach is going to be." By every indication, it seems like Damon Williams and Jedd Fisch have always got along. Did something happen, since the season ended to make them not get along as well? I don't know. It's really interesting stuff, but I mean, not interesting in a good way. It obviously sucks, and we don't want college football to be this way, but kind of is what it is. What do you think, Zach, about Beau Pribula on the visit today to Washington? No commitment or anything that I've seen, and I don't think they're necessarily going to look for a commitment, today or anything. But what are your thoughts on Beau Pribula coming in for a visit there?
I mean, it would be a good replacement in a pinch, but he's not Damon Williams. So it's not to say that he can't be good at Washington, but he's not Damon Williams. At least the potential of Damon Williams is just much higher.
They're saying they want a Big Ten conspiracy theory segment.
Listen, if we do that, we
No
need to
judgment.
get if we do that, we need to get our man who often wears tinfoil hats, Eric Boggs from the OHIO podcast.
Oh, yes. Eric would do an excellent job with the conspiracy theory
Yes.
segment.
We'll just ask him questions and he will tell us all the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. A trend I'm noticing with Philip and other people talking about the players that we've discussing here, a lot of high ceiling, low floor type of stuff, and I think that is kind of what you're getting here with a lot of these guys. Beau Pribula, Aidan Chiles, maybe not Anthony Colandrea. I think he's a little bit better, but Philip was talking about Colandrea or Minchie here, and I think for me, I don't think Nebraska can handle a 3-9 season.
No.
And I think you could possibly get that with Minchie if things don't go well. I think at worst next season they're 5-7. I mean, I'm not predicting that. Please do not hear me say I think that's going to happen, Nebraska fans. But with Colandrea, I think your floor got raised up a couple wins.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, Matt Rule can't afford he needs another winning season. He needs to show progression, and having a guy who could derail your season.
Public perception wise, he needs to show that. So, Fisherman not happy, says Ohio State on the verge of 3-9. At least that's what it feels like. I hear you, Fisherman. I hear you. Last segment might not make you feel any better. So, sorry about that. All right. Anything else on the quarterbacks before we move on, Zach?
The NCAA stinks. That's all I have to say about that.
Should have wore your shirt tonight.
Next time.
It's dirty from all the times you've worn it, huh?
Yeah. At this point, I might just need a tattoo across my forehead.
There you go. All
Temporary.
We're going to take a break. If you would, please do like, subscribe while we take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Like, subscribe, 5-star rating and review. If you're on podcast, definitely helps us out. Get those likes up. You guys have done a good job here recently, but we still need to get those up, and we really appreciate it if you make that happen.